I get it, AI is not for everybody, but I think everybody can agree AI is here and it's here to stay. Now, whether you choose to embrace it or not, that's up to you. I won't see you any different if you don't want anything to do with AI. Me personally, I've chosen to embrace AI, incorporate it into my workflows, and actually use it to create 3D models, which is the reason for this video. And this is video 2 of a 4-part series where I'm breaking down the features of Tripo AI, how to use it, and get good results. Because if you don't understand all the features and how to use them, honestly, when you upload a model, you're just kind of shooting in the dark. You might get a good result and you might not. And when you're paying for credits, that's probably not the best way to go about doing it. So in this video, we'll be covering how to segment your model into parts, how to use textures if you need textures, how to export a full color model into your slicer and retain the colors. That way, whenever it gets into your slicer, you're not stuck using the old mouse and trying to scratch to paint type thing. I mean, it's 2026 and honestly, I cannot believe that we're using the mouse to still paint. To me, it just blows my mind. With that said, let's get right into the video. So let's talk about segmentation. What is segmentation and what do you use it for? Well, segmentation is where you take a model and you break it up into parts. So what would you use this for and why is it useful? Well, there could be many reasons of why this would be useful. What it's used for is to break apart the model. You might want to separate your model into parts to paint them, to alter a certain part, or just to alter the model and not alter the entire model, but a specific part. Now in segmentation, you have simple, balanced, and detail. You can clearly see that simple is going to give you the least amount of parts, while detail will give you the most amount of parts. So on this model here, something like this, you got to break it down into kind of how you would want the part. Now this is left up to discretion, but typically, you know, you want the head, the body, maybe the arms, and maybe what he's holding. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 parts, right? So we'll do simple and then we will segment this part. Now, anytime you segment a part, as you can see, it gets colorful, just like right here. So if you look over here on the right side, any parts that I've segmented, you can see like the glasses here or this bracket holder, those have been broken into parts because they're colorful. Now these other ones, you can see that I generated this model before and I generated it just in a solid colored texture. Now I didn't have to re-upload that model. What I could have done is gone here. So I didn't actually have to re-bring the Slicer Ninja model in there. I could have just went to this old one that I've already done, opened it up in assets here at the top left right here, and then I could have just generated it in parts instead of just uploading a new model. So we're going to go ahead and hit segment on simple and we're going to let it do its thing here. Hey, real quick, I want to show you something. These aren't tombstones, they're actually keyboard keycaps. Let me explain. So I'm pretty sure you've been hearing my keyboard throughout the video, which is why I'm switching over to the Newfie Kick 75. And yes, it's wireless or wired, and it's also set up for Windows or Mac. Just switch the button, plug in the wireless transmitter, no wires, you're good to go. I 3D printed a ton of switches for this thing. You can actually customize this keyboard however you want and make it your own. And that's exactly what I did. Now I'm still planning on printing out some other switches because this is kind of just experimental, but as you can see, it's super easy and you can even swap out the actual switches themselves. This keyboard has the red nano switches and they're super buttery smooth. You might prefer the clicky switches, I don't know. I really like the retro gamer feel of this keyboard, although I've never been a fan of the 75 keyboards, which are the short ones with no number pad. I was kind of excited to be able to customize this thing and use my 3D printers to just make it my own. And I actually used Tripo to design a keycap just using text. I told Tripo to basically create me a Slicer Ninja laying on top of a keycap that's had a spaghetti mess. And that's exactly what it did. It made this little ninja guy right here. He's laying down. He's going to be my escape key from now on. And it came out absolutely amazing. When I get some more time, I cannot wait to dive into this. I plan on doing the whole keyboard, so stay tuned for that short video. But if you want to check out the Newfie, they're super high quality keyboards. You guys know I wouldn't have it on the channel if it wasn't quality. And as always, I'm showing you guys stuff that I use every day. So I'll leave a link to it in the description if you want to check one out. Okay, now as you can see, each color is a different part. So the green is going to be different parts, the blue is a part, the red is a part. And like I said, we kept it in simple mode. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. Now I know these two reds look the same, but they're shades different. Now the greens are the same, but you're going to be able to click on those because they are separate parts, even though they're green. Now, same thing with the blue, that's all one part there. So if you move that, you're going to be moving the entire body. Same thing with the head. If we take the head and we just slide it over here, that's pretty much what it's going to do. You're going to take it off the body there. Now that could be useful because let's say, you know, we don't want this thing in his hands, but then you're left with this. See, he's got a gaping hole in his chest. So you have to be mindful of that. And sometimes you might have to take it into a software and fix these things. And sometimes you might not have to. It just depends on how it separates and how the model's made. Every model is going to be completely different. Now, another cool feature here in segmentation is the explosion. You can tap this right here and it does a cool little explosion of the parts. And then when you go to rotate it, it brings it back together. So you'll have to tap it and then rotate and it comes back together. So you can grab cool footage, you know, if you want to make a video or something, or if you just want to grab a still image and show how something goes together. That's a super useful tool to use for that. All right, so now we're in fill parts and we're going to try to see if fill parts can fix this little hole in the chest here, but then I worry it might fix this part too, but we're going to see. We're going to select that part and then we're going to hit part completion. And then we're going to see if it fills that in, because that's kind of what it's supposed to do. If you see here, it says complete mode. It basically quickly close mesh openings to improve model printability. And so we should be good there, but then I think it's going to close in. Let's see what it did. Now let's move this out. Yeah, it fixed it. Wow, nice. Okay, cool. So yeah, that fixed that. Now it's not perfect. Of course, it didn't get the belt and stuff like that, but you would be able to print that now without that, or just go into another software and kind of touch it up a little bit. It's not a gaping hole anymore. I wonder if it did the same thing to the arms. Let's check that out. No. Oh yeah, it kind of did. Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, it did. It closed in the arms, but they still fit. Everything still fits, but it closed it in. Now I can't get rid of the indentation because obviously the arms have to fit there. So if you want to line it back up perfectly, just hit the back button. That way you know you're good, because it's extremely hard to line this back up visually. At least for me it is. So once you're ready to export, you just click export right here and you'll have several different options. I'm going to choose 3MF because I want this to stay in the parts so I can color it or move things as I choose inside the slicer. So that's what we're going to go with. But if you're going to go into Blender or something like that, you can actually hit send to here. And you can just send it to Blender if you choose to, or you can just download it in OBJ or whatever and then do it like that. And Pack UV, all that does is it just combines the UV islands from different parts into one unified layout. And then you export like a single texture map basically, and that's it. Bottom center pivot just moves the model's pivot to the bottom center. Honestly, not even needed. So I've already exported this, so let's pull in the slicer here. All right, so I've got Prusa Slicer pulled up. Now we're gonna pull in our Slicer Ninja model. Now there's an important thing that you need to do right here, or you're gonna have a horrible time. I'm gonna not check this box, and I'm just gonna say yes, that I want this to come in as one model having multiple parts, and we'll just say yes. Now, if your model disappears, that means it's just super big and it's off in the abyss somewhere. So don't touch it. Come over here to your scale and just scale it down 50%. You can grab it and then bring it over here to the plate, flip it around. Okay, now there you go, right? So now all your models are in parts. You can see right here, they're all different colors on the right-hand side. Now to grab one, it's kind of tricky. So you'll just go over here and just click on it. Now I want to grab the head and it's orange, so we're going to do that. Now I want to put the head on top of the body and it's already a different color, so that's perfect. So now I'm going to hit move and I'm going to bring it up. Now as you can see, it stays right there and you're good to go. You can do that with all the parts. You can move them wherever you need them. Let's see, let's grab another part and move it out. A lot of these parts are hidden in here. Like you can see the arm there, it's hidden. So we'll move that over here. Let's make this bigger so we can see a little bit. And you can click on them, but it's easier just to, you see I tried to click that one and then it grabbed the whole body. It's easier just to do this. Okay, so everything's here. You can see he's got the two arms, got the nozzle, got the head and the body, and we're good. And everything's different colors. See the body's one color, left, right, nozzle, head. They're all different colors. So this makes really good for coloring a model, but Tripo can actually do this, so you don't have to do it in parts if you don't want to. If you saw video 1, you saw that I exported the banana and it was all different colors in one part, so you don't have to do this. This is just a special use case. If you want to do something like this, it's an option. So now let me show you, if you do this the wrong way, this is what's going to happen. So now I'm going to hit shift
and then I can select all those and delete them all at once. Now I'm gonna do it again, and I'll bring it in. Now instead of selecting yes, I'm gonna select no. You can see it looks the same, right? Except it didn't blow it off the build plate this time. Now we're still gonna go over here and hit 50%. Now that's gonna change everything to 50%. Here's the head over here. We wanna bring that over here, so we're gonna grab it and we're gonna bring it over here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to raise this head and put it on top of the body, right? That's what we wanted to do. And we raise it up and it snaps back down to the build plate. So if you have that problem, that means you need to just delete the model, go back, and then select yes, you want it in multiple parts, and then you should be good to go. So if you have a problem with it snapping to the build plate, just delete the model and make sure you select the right option when you're bringing it in. Okay, moving on from segmentation and parts, we're gonna drop down here to Tripo, which is retopology. And this has everything to do with the appearance and outside of the model and the quality of the model. So polygon count is going to determine how many basically shapes that it's going to use to create this model, right? And so the less shapes you have, the bigger they are to create that model. And the bigger they are, the less resolution you get, basically, in a nutshell. And so for this, you probably won't mess with this too much if you're just 3D printing, because your model is going to look like this, and that's very good for 3D printing. Now, if you want your model to print faster, the less polygons it has, it'll print a little faster. So if you bust this down to like 500, then you're going to get a weird like diamond texture on the outside. I'll do it just so you can see it, but unless you just want that style, which some people do for certain things, you probably wouldn't waste your tokens doing this for a 3D print. Typically, we're at like 1 million triangles, I think, sometimes 500,000. So we'll see what this does. It's probably going to come out pretty crazy looking, but that's okay. I'm just trying to show you guys what it looks like. All right, so now it's finished. Now, like I said, it's going to look crazy. So it came apart because I generated this model in parts. Had I not done that, it'd all still be one piece, so yours probably won't do that. But looking at the outside of the model, this is what I was talking about. You can see the definitive polygons here, and if you're going for detail, this is the exact opposite of what you want to do. Like I said, you probably won't want to use this, but there it is anyways. Now you also have a feature here that's smart low poly. So you'll turn this on when you want Tripo to intelligently reduce the polygon count while preserving important details like facial features on miniatures or sharp edges on parts or whatever. But again, 9 out of 10, you're not going to want to mess with this. And also, you can adjust triangles and stuff inside the slicer, and I would suggest doing it there if that's what you're trying to do. And also, don't do what I did. If you're doing this for 3D printing, you want to be in triangles, not quads. So yeah, quads is going to get you like that, squares. And for 3D printing, you want to be in triangles. So yeah. All right, I can't go back. So in this situation, if you wanted to revert back to another version of the model, so right here you can go to history, and you got all the different versions of this model. Like, I've created this thing so many times. There's a lot. Like, I've done this model a lot. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell, guys. That segment into parts and retopology here. And also, one thing to check out for sure, the new features with Tripo AI is this 8K texture right here. You can use that, and then also their all new model, the 3.1. I would definitely be using the 3.1. Now, if you're trying to save some tokens, you can bump down to 3.0, or you can even bump down to 2.5. But honestly, I wouldn't go lower than the 3.0. If tokens aren't an issue for you, it's only 10 more just to bump up. Actually 15 more to bump up to the 3.1. You can try the 3.0 and see the difference in quality and results that you get. But so far with 3.1, it's been spot on for me, and I'm not changing back. So anyways, I hope that helped you guys. And if you want to try it out, you can use the link in the description, get your 500 free credits on us, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss part 3 and 4. Well, that's all I have for you for this one. If part 3 is available, I'll link it somewhere up here or up there. I don't know what side it's on, but there will be a link somewhere up here if part 3 is available. And until next time, stay ready to 3D print. We'll see you in the next one.